The full executive order is out. This is the biggest executive power grab in U.S. history. This executive order does the following. All federal agencies, including independent regulatory commissions, are now subject to direct White House control. Regulations cannot be issued without presidential approval. The Office of Management and Budget (OMM) can no withhold funding from independent agencies if they don't align with White House priorities. All federal employees must follow the President's and Attorney General's interpretation of the law, eliminating legal independence. A White House lion is to be installed in every independent regulatory agency to enforce direct presidential control. Biden is a disgrace to humankind, an embarrassment to the human race in every respect. Yes, but he's got a real job, not a podcast. Yeah, you're right. Millions of listeners a day on a podcast while you're watching in your mama's basement yearning for the days that people actually gave a shit about your dumb ass. Nice comeback, dipshit. Get a job, loser. First of all, you aren't pack god, Dan Bongino. Second of all is that your job is prob cleaning toilets. What the fuck? Department-wide review of media subscriptions. All tri-mission employers. The department is conducting a broad review of spending to ensure resource aligned with the Secretary's highest priorities. As part of this effort, all non-mission critical media subscriptions that are not academic or professional journals must be immediately paused. This includes, but is not limited to, hard copy and electronic subscriptions for news, publications, and periodicals. Specifically, media subscriptions for these 6 companies will be terminated immediately. 1. The Economist. 2. The New York Times. 3. Politico. 4. Bloomberg Newsfeed. 5. Associated Press. 5. Reuters. G50 Contracting and Acquisition G50C4 staff will soon reach out to affected offices. Once you receive that communication, the safety of air travel is a non-partisan matter. SpaceX engineers will help make air travel safer, so he's fearing government employees so that he can contract their work on his own business instead and directly profit from it. Doge could save $18 billions by canceling Musk's SpaceX and Tesla subsidies. Tristan, left, and Andrew Tate are vocal supporters of President Trump and have claimed credit for his victory last year. Trump team lobbying Romania to let Andrew Tate leave country. The hard-right influencer and his brother, Tristan, have had their passports confiscated after being charged with human trafficking. Elon Musk is on idiot on an almost inconceivable scale. He had his high school toadies pull a random list from a database he doesn't understand, and on that basis alone decided that 60 million Social Security enrollers, out of 72 millions total, are fraudulent. 83% fraudulent. Why 9 of America loves #Doge. Watching Trump's slaw federal programs, knowing it doesn't affect you, because you're not a member of the parasite class. You have collected more in corporate welfare than any of the poor and disabled collecting welfare combined. Can't stop thinking about how the owner of the Rams worth $12.5 billion was able to receive a $100 million tax break, build a $5 billion stadium named after a student loan company, while 45 million Americans owe $1.8 trillion in student debt, and 600,000 are homeless. #Super Bowl. Breaking. Donald Trump just fired General CQ Brown left and has replaced him with the less qualified General Dan Kane. Day isn't a problem if you're white. Trump. The NCAA has complied immediately. That's good, but I understand Maine. Is the governor of Maine here? Janet Mills. Yeah, I'm here. Trump. Are you not gonna comply? Jim, I'm going to comply with state and federal law. T. You better do it because you're not gonna get any federal funding at all. Imagine thinking food isn't a human right. Like, what the heck did we build civilization for then? Why did we bother industrializing agriculture? So we could make enough food for everyone, only to let people starve anyway? The only way that they win is we retreat. And we're not going to retreat. We're not going to surrender. We're not going to quit. Fight, fight, Fight. Need money to go back to 1945 to give a Trump's dad a condo. Don't think this will work.
Silly.
Trump says he wants to privatize USPS because it's unprofitable. Reminder that the post office isn't a for-profit enterprise, it's a public service that guarantees everyone in America reliable, affordable, and universal mail service. A fundamental goal of this administration is take all the government services that are public goods and hand them to billionaires so they can make even more money. It is ironic because Trump firing a black four-star general as chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, only to name a less qualified white man to the same job, is the reason why day policies exist in the first place. It's almost like we're being softened up for an invasion. Woman who just let a billionaire grow a baby instead of her says what? Can you believe the nerve of this gold digger? MAGA literally blamed black people for a plane crash. This makes me mad. SNL ran a script tonight with Tom Hanks as a MAGA racist who literally recoils when a black game show host reaches to shake hands. So wrong, MAGA isn't racist. SNL knows why they can keep pushing those stupid stereotypes for laughs. Sick. Trump. We were the richest, relatively. Think of this. From 1870 to 1913. That was our richest. Because we collected tariffs. We had so much wealth. Of course, now give it away to transgender. Everybody gets a transgender operation. At Elon Musk, I hate to break it to you, but you aren't my boss. I answer to the people, to Minnesota. But since you bring it up, I spent last week dieting to stop tax breaks for billionaires like you. Paid for by defunding health care for moms and babies. What did you get done last week? United Healthcare at UC just denied a claim on one of my patients in the ICU with a brain hemorrhage, in a coma, on a ventilator, in heart failure, because I haven't proven to them that caring for her in the hospital was medically necessary. Tear it all down. A lot of the people who want to cut aviation safety do not fly commercial. Make Elon fly 100% commercial if he's so confident. Hold strong, Ukraine. Zelensky killed an American journalist. You lessen crime by eliminating poverty. You lessen crime with universal healthcare, public housing, strong unions, high wages, universal childcare, and free college. You lessen violence by creating happy, healthy communities that aren't fighting over material resources. Wow. A CSPN caller from West Virginia said they are on Medicare and their insulin was $6 under Biden, but now under Trump it's back to $80. They also said their friends on Medicare who voted for Trump are running around scared.
Let's go gambling! Aw, dang it! Aw, dang it!
Me. Elon is an African. No, he's not. He's an America citizen. Me. But his birth certificate says he was born in South Africa. Africa. He's Africa. No, he's not. He immigrated legally. He's an America citizen. Me. So you're telling me how one identifies themselves overrides what if on their birth certificate? MAGA. No, South Africa isn't Africa. That's why it's literally got its own name. South Africa is a country on the continent of Africa. There is no country called Africa. Anyone born on the continent of Africa is an Africa. Thank you for correcting me. The left is controlling the weather, but humans cannot impact climate change. January 6th was a false flag by Antifa and Blim, but Trump just pardoned all of them. Trump won by a landslide. But Democrats rigged the election. Trump deserves credit for the COVID vaccine, but no one should take it. Obamacare is communism, but I want to keep my ACA. Pro-life, but pro-death penalty. China should be blamed for COVID, but it's just the common cold. Unfortunately, community notes is increasingly being by governments and legacy media working to fix this. It should be utterly obvious that a Zelensky-controlled poll about his own approval is not credible. If Zelensky was actually loved by the people of Ukraine, he would hold an election. He knows he will lose landslide, Despite having seized control of all Ukrainian media, she cancelled the election. In reality, he is despised by the people of the Ukraine, which is why he has refused to hold an election. I challenge Zelensky to hold an election and refute it. He will not. President Trump is right to ignore him and solve for peace independent of the disgusting, massive graft machine feeding off the dead bodies of Ukrainian soldiers. There are a total of 3 park rangers manning Yosemite National Park. I want you to wrap your head around how monumentally dangerous and irresponsible that is. People are going to die. FDA staff were reviling Elon Musk's brain implant company Doge just fired them. At least 20 staffers reviewing Neuralink, Elon Musk's brain implant company, were fired in an ongoing DOGE purge of federal workers. Rachel Levy and Marissa Taylor Reuters, Food and Drug Administration employees reviewing Elon Musk's brain implant company Neuralink, were fired over the Neuralink. Trump says Ukraine should have never started it in comments about war with Russia. Trump made the remark while dirting Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, whose country was invaded by Russia in February 2022. Holy man. Republican Senator John Curtis of Utah was just quoted as saying, "If I could say one thing to Elon Musk, it's please put a dose of compassion in this. These are real people. These are real lives. These are mortgages. If I invested in irony, be rich. This is insane." Marco Rubio explains that America needs to take advantage of the incredible opportunity to partner with the Russians geopolitical on issues of common interest and economically. Fun fact: if you live in the United States, here's a fun fact. A lot of people in other countries making much less than you have their own homes and free healthcare that no landlord or company can take away. I'm voting red because I don't want my sons to fight in WW3. You're voting blue so your sons can become your daughters. We are not the same. If I were 53 and had 13 children by 4 different men, society would view me as the problem, not the solution. Doge claimed it saved $8 billion in one contract. It was actually $8 million. A family facing homelessness reached out at least 3 times to Detroit's homeless response team before 2 children froze to death in a van in a casino parking structure. Shit likes happening while the government focused on removing pronouns from email signatures and buying Greenland. So far going anti-woke leads to less money and planes falling out of the sky. Target's shareholders lost $15 billions of net worth in their holding of Target common stock when Target announced they were dropping day initiatives. Target drops day initiatives and learns there are harsh consequences. The retailer is being sued after removing its diversity programs after President D something I don't know brew. WHAT. Republican Senator Lisa Murkowski just slammed Elon Musk and his "What did you do last week?" email. This is coming from a Republican. If Elon Musk truly wants to understand what federal workers accomplished over the past week, he should get to know each department and agency and learn about the jobs he's trying to cut. Our public servants work hard to ensure that our national security is protected, that planes land safely, that forest fire do not spread to our homes. Research for breakthroughs needed to cure diseases like cancer and ALS countings, and much more. Our public workforce deserves to be treated with dignity and respect for the unheralded jobs they perform. The absurd weekend email to justify their existence, wasn't it? Your car is German. Your vodka is Russian. Your pizza is Italian. Your kebab is Turkish. Your democracy is Greek. Your coffee is Brazilian. Your movies are American. Your tea is Tamil. Your shirt is Indian. Your oil is Saudi Arabian. Your electronics are Chinese. Your numbers Arabic. Your letters Latin. And you complain that your neighbor is an immigrant? Pull yourself together. Confirmants. Russia went too far 3 years ago. Now, the Ukrainian government has gone too far. Endless death is trenches is wrong, and anyone who continues to push that lacks both empathy and a brain. WF happened to him in the last 3 years. Hold strong Ukraine. Munzik, commonly known as Msink, is a threat to our democracy. Such lying and misrepresentation. Bad people at the top. A USAID worker fired by Elon and Trump warns America. Marburg disease has a 90% fatality rate, and Trump and Elon Musk shut down USAID at the same time a Marburg outbreak was declared. In Africa, there's dengue, which in its was to the US. An active Ebola outbreak is Uganda. Macaques, polio, and bird flu, which is probably the next pandemic. There will cade territory to China, to Russia, and also terrorist groups like ISIS, Al-Qaeda, Boko Haram, and the Houthis, as they'll have much easier time moving in, and it's going to cost the US taxpayers so much money because of the way this was done. The grain is rotting in the ports and on the ships, and the medications are in warehouses going bad. This is not up to Elon and Trump to take away. Never forget, when the USA was attacked, Europe stood up and fought for our friends. When Europe was threatened, America sided with the aggressor. Hi, cutie. Hi, see you soon. I want to knock you up again.
Hey, yo, what the
Please respond about our child's medical crisis. I am sorry to do this publicly, but it is no longer acceptable to ignore this situation. This requires immediate attention. If you don't want to talk to me, can you please designate or hire someone who can so that we can move forward on solving this? This is urgent, Elon. Mexico's President Claudia argues that if cartels are terrorists, then those supplying their weapons, over 74% of which come from the US, should be held accountable for aiding terrorism. In response, Mexico will expand its lawsuit against US gun manufacturers. She also proposed a constitutional reform to impose the harshest possible punishment on foreigners involved in arms trafficking or any form of interventionism in Mexico, reinforcing national sovereignty against external interference. I admire a lot of what you do, Elon Musk, but your vicious attacks on President Zelensky last night was incredibly disappointing. Anything negative to say about Vladimir Putin, or is it just the guy whose country he illegally invaded who is the problem? Maybe it's time to stop saying, I admire a lot of what you do, and see if that helps. Elon hasn't done much admirable lately, just spreading misinformation, amplifying Putin's taking points, and turning Twitter into a safe haven for extremism. You want to invade a country because they booed your national anthem? Canada is giving better pretext for war than Iraq did in 2003.